call me.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Song 43, a podcast for those of you looking to get a deeper look at how this creator creates while being a mom, working full-time, and doing all the things. This week finds me at home and off the road, where I will be for the remainder of November. Yeah, it's November. Yep, that's it. And so that's great. So I'm in my office, not in the parking lot tonight. It's never a dull moment around here, but I had a dull moment, so here I am recording the podcast. Last week, I was in the parking lot of Champion Taekwondo in Brantford. Sorry, I gave the wrong name about 4 times during last week's episode. Everyone is healthy. I am knocking on wood at this moment. Ellie just had her follow-up appointment with her orthopedist, and the boot is off, and hopefully the fractured growth plate is really nothing more than just, a bad kind of strain. So she will be back dancing momentarily, which is fantastic, as tolerated. So that was a good way to start off the morning, because we needed some good news when it came to that. So now we move on. And the rest of the week, let's see, we had Eric's birthday this past weekend, or yesterday, celebrated this past weekend. Eric is once again out in the world, abroad, traveling, and I am home here in my studio, looking lovingly and longingly at my studio computer, which is over next to me, and it's not been able to be used yet again. But this weekend, I have a gig coming up with the band Fake ID, which I've sat in with before, and we're doing a show in Fairfield on Thursday night. And so that'll be fun. And I rehearsed with my caroling crew last week, which was super cool. That was actually right after I recorded in the parking lot. I came home and then rehearsed with 4 of my favorite people, and we sang some Christmas carols in my kitchen and picked out our costumes, because starting the weekend after Thanksgiving, it is go time. And every Saturday we will be singing and strolling the shops at Yale in the Audubon district from 12 to 3. And then a couple of Sundays, Sunday after Thanksgiving and December 2nd, I guess, or 3rd, whatever that is, we will be strolling the shops at Yale over by York Square. So it's always a scramble to do that one, because it's nice to have a little bit of extra pocket money around Christmas time. And of course, it's fun to sing Christmas carols, but it's cold as shit outside when you're singing. And singing outside, for those of you who are not singers, is hard. It's not so fun, because your vocal cords get tight. You're breathing in cold air. Vocal cords don't like that. They're an instrument. So just like any other instrument where you blow warm air through it to get it going, or you warm up your hands if you're going to play the piano or the guitar, it's the same kind of thing. So when you're outside and you keep sucking in cold air, it can get a little chilly. Plus, just like physical extremities get cold. And we're standing there in traditional Dickensian wear. So that's not exactly made for warmth. It's not my Patagonia or Arc'teryx jacket, which I will be strategically hiding beneath my costume, just saying. But anyway, it's fun, but it is taxing. So we have divided and conquered this year, and I've brought on 2 more singers so that we can kind of split up the dates so that not everyone is having to sacrifice their weekends. So I'm excited. So that's Bill Speed and Amy Earls and Vicki Newman and Don Johnson, all joining me in various ways, shapes, and forms. So it should be really cool. I was very grateful that they were able to come over and practice as we devoured Halloween candy together. So that's what I'm kind of gearing up towards. And then I have a band gig with the Vintage Teas at the Stony Creek Library once again on December 10th. So a couple of shows coming up, a lot of caroling coming up, but still, needing to scratch that itch of recording and producing and getting these songs ready, because now it's November. The album has not made any more progress. And so I might have to admit defeat, but I'm going to stay positive. I'm going to stay positive, because God knows this world needs some positivity right now. Am I right? And that's the other thing too. I don't know how everybody else feels it, but when I look at the news, I feel sad, but I feel angry, and I feel anxious, and I also don't want to not read it or look at it, because I feel like that would be doing a disservice to the people who are suffering these atrocities all over the world. but it is so difficult as a creative to process it. Not that it's more difficult for me than it is for anybody else, but I just feel like I feel things viscerally, and I am not one to be able to just compartmentalize my feelings, shove them out underneath, or say, oh yeah, I'll come back to you later. Like, my feelings live just beneath the surface all the time. For anyone who knows me, you will know that. I'm very animated, and I let it out because I feel like it's a waste of time to take your emotions and bury them down deep. That doesn't help anyone. It hurts you in the long run. It can be scary to let out your true emotions, but otherwise it'll just eat you alive. So, yeah. So I'm trying to, come to terms with the fact that in my professional life, I probably need to keep feelings closer to the vest. In my personal life, I need to let them more out so I can create something that feels truly me and authentic. I need to temper my feelings so that I'm not hurting anyone's feelings. It's hard. It is a dilemma most of the time to figure out what the heck I should be saying or not saying. So I usually err on the side of just saying what comes to my mind. So I'm trying to learn how to balance that a little bit better. It's tough, especially when I have two beautiful girls in my house that I'm trying desperately to not damage in a permanent way. I feel like as a parent, the first portion of their lives, you're worrying about keeping them alive, right? Like literally feeding them and changing them and making sure they're cared for and warm. And then they get older and you're like, oh my gosh, these words that we're saying, they are absorbing all of them and it's really going to impact them. And I don't see how anyone can do it without some level of, like, oh shit, I kind of screwed up my kid permanently with that one. Or, unless you're perfect, and please, if you are, just please don't tell me. No, I mean, please let me know what your secret is. But yeah, otherwise it's just trying to figure out how to not damage these precious little souls that I have been put in charge of for the first little bit of their lives. I mean, when you have a kiddo who does not want you to brush their hair, what do? Do you rake a brush through their hair and say, sorry, you have to adhere to these standards that the world has put forth, that everyone must have perfectly coiffed hair, when it's like physically hurting her and she goes to tears the second a brush hits her hair? Like, I don't want to do that to her or them, this is hypothetical. But yeah, then there's that other part of you that's like, I don't want my kid going out there looking like she doesn't know how to care for herself, or I don't know how to care for her, or, all this BS that we get caught up in of trying to not do what society is telling us to do, but also trying to care for our children while not squelching their souls or making them self-conscious. It's a freaking mind game. That's where my mind is today. Yeah. So state of the world weighing heavy. State of my girls' souls weighing heavy, always. And just trying to be cognizant of my feelings and how I'm sharing them, and working on that a little bit more than ever. And once again, being hopeful and staying hopeful that a song will come to be that I've been working on, that I shared last week, and have some more time this week to dive into it and see what can come out. Because yeah, I need to make more music. I need to be producing again. And so I'm so grateful that you're here listening to me babble on, and hoping that you can find a nugget to relate to. And, just let me know. You guys have been texting me, which I so appreciate. And it just means so much to know that you're driving to work and listening and tuning in and staying up to date. You can text me, you can hit me up, but, make sure to subscribe to the podcast so you always know what's coming next, when a new episode's released, etc. I'm just starting to do a YouTube version of this, so if you want to watch me awkwardly flail my hands while talking to myself for 10 to 15 minutes, then you can tune in on my YouTube channel and let somebody know about the podcast. That's the best thing that you can do, is to help me spread the word and get it out there, and let them know that it's not a heavy lift. It's a very short podcast that will hopefully make them chuckle a little bit and have something in there that makes them go, yeah, I can relate to that. And on that note, back to it, everybody. Have a great rest of your week. And as always, thanks for listening.
Just call me.